So I remember back in school, my coach having a conversation with all of us about the realities of playing professional basketball. Small gyms, late pay, culture shock, food, etc, etc. And I kind of remember all of us leaving that meeting like a little bit shell-shocked, because it is something we had never really thought about before. But, you know, we're young and we all just kind of figured that wasn't going to happen to us, myself included. I didn't think I'd be dealing with some of these things. I thought, I'm gonna be alright.
You serious?
So today I'm going to tell you a short story from my career where I thought to myself, where am I? And what the hell am I doing with my life? And I'm going to be keeping the name of this club omitted, but I won't be trying too hard because, quite frankly, this club still owes me money and played me around a little bit. So I really, really wish I had a YouTube channel back then, because this was just one of those seasons where, mate, anything and everything happened, and I promise you just could not make it up. It felt like Bizarro Land. Nothing made sense. It's just a gold mine for stories like these. And don't get me wrong, seriously, that season wasn't all bad. I got some people and some memories from that year that I hold and cherish dearly, but the rest can go in the bin, because I do my best daily to repress that shit. It was a time. If you want to make sure you're sitting comfortably, and I'll set the scene. So we basically played in what was like a converted warehouse. It wasn't a proper brick and mortar building, and that meant it would be at the mercy of the elements. If it was hot in there, boy, it was cooking. If it was cold, muy frío. If it rained, you guessed it, we have a problem. And luckily, where we're located, we don't get too much rain. However, this week was biblical. The whole week during practice, we had buckets all over the floor. Coach still insisted we played 5-on-5 while there's all these buckets on the floor. Water's dripping through and there's wet spots on the floor. This floor was just one of those courts where it's like, it's just always slippery. So slippery, in fact, that actually before every practice, we had a rota of whose turn it was before each practice to go and spray vinegar all over the floor and wipe that up. Don't ask me why, but it worked. You know, the poor floor with the rain and the humidity, it just made it even worse. Absolute nightmare. So naturally, for me, the game this weekend is in question. Like, it's one thing for us to go Mamba mode and practice all week with buckets on the floor, but surely the league can't allow this. That's another thing entirely. So it's the end of the week and the rain still hasn't completely let up, and I get to the game to warm up, you know, and as I get on the floor to try it out, it's like an ice rink. To me, there's no way we're playing today. It's just not safe. And I can remember sitting there with the other imports, just watching everybody else warm up as if like we were playing today. Coach is even writing stuff all on the board, and I'm just thinking, you guys are drunk.
I don't know where I felt like I could get a little drink around here, do you, bud?
We're not playing today. There's no way. So the officials finally arrive. They check out the state of the court, and the GM is doing his best to deliberate with the referees to try and coerce them into letting the game go ahead. An applause just erupts. I look over to see what the commotion was about, and this guy comes in with this leaf blower in an attempt to dry the floor up with this one leaf blower. You know, he's the hero of the hour right now, but obviously, to nobody's surprise, it didn't work. It was just far too humid in there, and you have to imagine the gym is filling up with more and more people, more and more body heat. The little leaf blower that it just wasn't getting it done. Anyway, so the referees were split. In this league, there's only 2 referees. One said, no, we probably shouldn't play on this. The other said, seems fine to me. So they looked to the coaches. Now, the away team traveled 10 hours, and the coach was willing to postpone the game, willing to just stay the night in the hotel and, you know, go back the next day. He agreed. He didn't feel it was safe. Our coach, on the other hand, he wanted us to play. He's a competitive guy, and I guess he just really wanted to play that night. But I'm not gonna lie, that had me feeling a type of way. You're our coach. You're supposed to be looking after us. If one of us gets hurt because you decided that it was okay for us to play, that's on you, my friend. Which is crazy as well, because come to think of it, we had lost one of our teammates for the year because of a compound fracture. For those of you who don't know what a compound fracture is, so you'd think he'd be extra protective, but like I said, he wanted to play. Now, our GM also really wanted this game to go ahead because
money.
He didn't want to spend more money on rearranging another game, paying for this other for the away team's expenses for our hotel, etc., yada yada. I believe there would be a fine of some sort as well. Basically, he just wasn't willing to pay the extra money. He would just rather put his entire team at risk.
Not a great plan.
So he came up with a solution to the problem. He spoke to some fans of the club, they left, and when they come back, they've got several bags of towels. Bear with me, I wasn't prepared for what happened next. It starts off with 1 or 2 people, but sooner or later, almost everybody in the crowd was on the floor with a towel. The game was still being streamed, so my dad is at home watching the stream, just observing this. People tuning in, expecting to see a game, and they're getting something out of the Chuckle Brothers.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Silly me.
Silly you.
As you can imagine, this is unsuccessful despite everybody's efforts, but you know, the officials decide, let's play ball. And as the ball's getting ready to tip, I just cannot believe that I'm here right now. I cannot believe that multiple adults have signed off on this being a good idea.
It's just dumb.
But at the end of the day, I consider myself a professional, so I'll do what I can. Now, the first play of the game, the ball comes to me. I catch it on the wing. I see the defense is closing out hard because I got that thing on me. I rip the ball to my left side, see there's nobody in the lane, and as I'm getting ready to explode, I fall flat on my face.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Yep, that's it. I checked out. I just decided my main goal for today was just to not get hurt. Didn't care how many points I had, didn't care if we won or lost. I just wanted to get through the game in one piece. Off the top of my head, I don't remember if we won or lost that game. I just remember getting back to the locker room and just thinking, thank God nobody got hurt. And I learned a very valuable lesson that day. They don't care about you. It's all fake. They don't really care about you. A few thousand euros and a W in the win column was more important to certain people than how safe we felt and actually were as players. Experiencing that really made it hit home. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, I'll try and remember some other tales that I can tell you. But at this point, honestly, my brain has the same integrity as Swiss cheese.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
So maybe don't hold your breath. Don't forget like, don't forget subscribe. It helps out a lot, blah, blah, blah. And I'll see you guys in the next one.